Hello, good evening. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope all is good with you. And we are Sunday and we are doing our weekly roundup. So hi to Instagram, hi to Facebook. How you doing? Hope you're well. And I will like to say thank you for the support that these lives are actually getting. Hello, people are stepping in. So just as people start to sign in, I'm just going to just say hello and thank you for all the support. Hi Rach, how are you, lovely? All the support that you are giving me and the feedback and the comments. And I'm really pleased that these lives are starting to reach people who are just a little bit curious about mindset work and a little bit wanting to know about what it's all about. So if you've got any questions, just jump on, say hello, message me privately, that's absolutely fine. And if you've got any questions, just pop them in on Instagram or on Facebook, whichever works for you, that's absolutely fine. So this week has been amazing in lots of different ways. And, you know, people who work with me will know that I really do wear my heart on my sleeve. And it's been a little bit of a testing week for me in a lot of ways. But one of the main things is when we are tested, we grow. And when we are tested, we have to stretch out of our comfort zone, which can be a little bit uncomfortable. And when we are kind of find ourselves in a little bit of an uncomfortable situation, you have to just dig a little bit deeper. So this week was fantastic in a lot of ways. I was able to present a workshop this week for Essex Chamber of Commerce, all based around stress and how stress can actually affect you and how it can prevent you from doing things and how it can affect your health as well. So there were lots of interesting things that came up from that. So some of you might be watching that actually attended that workshop. You might be watching this on catch up. It'd be really great to know where you're watching, and if you feel that you know somebody who might benefit from this work, tag them in as we go live. Hi Kate, how are you, lovely? Tag them in as we go live, or maybe you can tag them in so they can watch back when they're ready. So or just let me know. So as people are jumping in, so I'm just not going to go right in just yet. So yeah, so like I say, this week been fantastic on a lot of levels. I've really had to step out of my comfort zone. I've managed to get a little bit more technical, and you may have caught up on my stories that there is an ebook coming very soon, very soon, all regarding about negative self-talk and how we talk to ourselves, how we talk down to ourselves. Hi Fee, how are you, my lovely? Hello, lovely. So yeah, let me know where you're from as well. Actually, I know Fee's up in Scotland, so let me know whereabouts in the country or in the world you are, and that will just give me an idea about how far my reach is going, which is fantastic. So that is the plan, to get as far as I can. So yes, the ebook. Okay, this is going to be free to you. It's a download, and there will be a link coming up over in the next couple of days where you can actually download this book. And again, you can share this link with people that you may feel that will benefit. And you know what? There's always something in there you can learn. There's always something that I can share with you that will actually help you understand how your mindset actually works. So, right, so Manchester. Oh, brilliant, Louise. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, fabulous. Right, okay. Now, one thing that I've been talking about this week, the topic has been about stopping. Literally just stop. Now, it depends on where you're at the moment. Hi, Susan. Hi, lovely. It depends on where you're at in your own mindset at the moment. Now, when I say the word stop, it could be that your perception is taking this as like stop of what you're actually doing, stop where you're at, stop and just slow down. It depends on where you are in your own world. Personally, yesterday I literally stopped. I crashed out. Last week it was so hectic. I've been doing so much, just saying hello to people as they come on. So now, what I want you to think about is when you say the word stop, what is jumping up for you? Hi, Harrison. What's jumping up for you? Now, what I want you to understand is sometimes we need to stop. We need to stop and slow down, put the foot on the brake and just take it steady. Remember, one of my favourite sayings, if anyone who works with me will remember this, is what you give energy to grows, okay? Where focus goes, or where energy grows, get it the right way around. Where focus goes, energy grows. Now, if you feel that you're constantly on the move, you feel that you can't stop, what's going to happen is we're just going to literally, our body is going to go into overdrive. And quite often we get in that habit and in that mindset of we just don't know how to stop. We're so used to keep going and going and going that it's impossible to stop. And when we do stop, we feel very, very uncomfortable. And that quite often is where the stress sets in, where the anxiety sets in, because our body is constantly trying to catch up with ourselves. And that is where we start to feel very, very uncomfortable. Now, quite often, like myself, I used to get in this habit of feeling that it was not the right thing to do, that if I stopped, I was a failure. If I stopped, then I'd be letting people down. If I stopped, then I'd be no good. If I stopped, I wouldn't be good enough. If I stopped, I'll be judged. What I want you to understand is other people might think that, say that, do that. That's none of your business. It's none of your business what other people think. What is your business is how you tick as an individual, how you tick as a human being, and how it works in your world. Sometimes it's important just to stop, take your foot off the pedal, and allow yourself to just simply be. Allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to catch up, and allow yourself to recuperate. It's okay, it really is okay. And if you think about this, the only person, if you keep going and going, that you're damaging is yourself. The only person that is going to be harmed by this is you. And the bottom line is you are allowed to look after yourself first. You are allowed to put yourself first. You are allowed to actually think, do you know what? It's not for me, and stop. It really is okay. So if any of this is resonating with you, just tap in, and then I can answer any of your queries, or I can just acknowledge what you're saying. Because the other thing as well, I encourage you to speak up on these lives if you want to. There's no pressure if you want to, because what I want you to understand is your experiences have brought you to now. Your experiences may actually be just what somebody else needs to hear in this moment. So if you are thinking like, do you know what, I don't stop enough, it's okay to acknowledge it. It really, really is. And like, to be honest, thanks, Kate. Yesterday, I've been very, very busy all week, like I said, and yesterday I literally went to see a friend, came home, and I literally crashed out completely, solidly for several hours, and literally probably slept about 12 hours on the go. That's okay. That really is okay. It's quite unusual for me, but my body needed it. Now, some of you that are, where are we? Self-care most important. Absolutely, Rachel, 100%. And some of you may feel that it's not okay to stop, but when you do, you actually start to reap the benefits very quickly because your body allows itself to catch up. So if we look at stopping from that perspective, allow it, it really is okay, okay? It really is okay. Fee, thank you, lovely. I've had a difficult weekend, so next week it's very much self-care, top of my priority, 100%, okay? I'm sorry you've had a tough time, but you've recognised it. Now, there'll be quite some of you that may think, you know what, I never used to see that and now I do. And that's because as you start to value yourself, as you start to take time for yourself, you start to realise actually what benefits you and what doesn't. And as we get a little bit more confident in valuing ourselves, we start to realise how important self-care is. And it really is top of the list. Now, some of you might think, no, I always put other people before myself. That's very admirable, but what about you? You know, there's the old story about being up in the aeroplane and the gas mask comes down, or the gas mask, the air mask, the oxygen mask comes down. Put it on yourself first, okay? Look after yourself first, and then everything else will follow, and you can look after other people. Now, remember, if you think that's a selfish thing, I challenge you to think about it as being a self-appreciation. It's not being selfish, it's appreciating your own self-worth in the first place. And that's okay, it really is okay. So think about that, stop, allow it, okay? Now, I've got some notes here as well, just throughout the week where I've been discussing this, and I've also been discussing it on my closed group Breakfast Boost. So throughout the whole network. Hi Jules, how are you, my lovely? Hi, lovely. So throughout the whole network, you will see that each week I just focus on one topic, and that's so that everywhere that you see me, you may be able to pick up some new things. I'll also be talking about in happiness class tomorrow, a new topic for the week, okay? So let me just go down to these notes, okay? Now, we have something that we all have. We have that little inner voice, and it's always in here. It's always maybe putting ourselves under pressure. It's always maybe talking down to you. It's always maybe comparing you with the next person, because maybe somewhere in your psyche you feel that somebody else is doing something better than you. Okay, right. That little voice is just a little habit, okay? It's that negative voice. But remember, for what you have, on a negative side, you always have the opposite, which is something positive. So what I want you to understand is you didn't come into this world talking down to yourself. You just came into this world, and we pick up from our environment, from what people say to us, we pick up things that maybe, if we're in that mindset of not feeling great about ourselves, or if something's happened, quite often what happens is the words that we hear from other people will go straight into our subconscious, straight in, without that conscious mind saying, actually, that's not true. Actually, I disagree. And when we do find ourselves dipping, and here speaks somebody from experience, I really have been through many years of pulling myself down, not feeling good enough, not feeling capable, and so therefore I ended up in this spiraling downwards of talking down to myself and not believing the good things that people did say about me, just believing the bad things. Now, that is self-sabotage, okay? That is self-sabotage. A couple of people joining in, it's lovely. Thanks for joining me. So when we have self-sabotage, we are literally always criticising ourselves. Nobody else needs to do it after a while, because we do a very good job of criticising ourselves. So let's just tap in. Are there any things that you say to yourselves on a regular basis? If you want to, again, you don't have to, but if you want to, just tap in some of the things you say to yourself on a regular basis that actually aren't really serving you. They are pulling you down, okay? So if you want to, that would be really helpful, and I can just give you a little bit of feedback on that as well. Okay. One thing that I cannot express enough is stop thinking what you think people are thinking about you, okay? Stop thinking what you think other people are thinking about you. The biggest phrase I can ever give you is none of your business. It's absolutely none of your business what people think of you. What matters is what you think about you. So try and put a block, a stop on, push it away of what other people think. Kate, thank you, my lovely. Am I doing enough for my kids? Okay, I've been there, 100%. And as mums, we get this mother's guilt, okay? Who invented mother's guilt? Please, it's horrendous. I say, we always wonder, are we doing enough? And I can relate to that as well. Kate, my lovely, what I want you to look at is, all that you've got to look at is your children, okay? All you've got to look at is your children. Are they with you? Are they talking to you? Are they happy? Are they opening up? Are you feeling that as a mum they're being nurtured? Okay, now looking in on the outside, because I know we've had a couple of conversations, I would say 100%. The fact that you're actually asking yourself that question tells me what an amazing mum you actually are, because you're concerned and making sure that they're okay, and that's it. Okay, so I would say just from even asking that question, 100%, absolutely 100%. Okay. So say hi as you come on, that's lovely. Hello, I see you. How are you? It's good to see you. Okay, so with that self-sabotage, think of the words that you're saying to yourself. Now remember, if it's starting with I am or am I, what are you following those two words with? What are you actually saying to yourself? The more you say something to yourself on any level, whether it be positive or negative, you are embedding those words into your subconscious mind. The more you repeat something, repetition, the more you repeat, you are embedding it. Okay, now, many of you may or may not be drivers, but that's the easiest way. Think about it. If you are driving a car, you won't know how to drive it the first time you get in one, but over time, your repetition, you will be able to drive that car without even realising it. So over time, the more you talk down to yourself, the more you're going to repeat it without even realising it. Then you absorb it, and that's what you start to believe. Okay, Rachel, yes, but then I decided to do something about it. Good girl, absolutely. And what did you do? Let me know. Fee, thank you. Fee on Facebook, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Are two of mine. I'm always doubting myself. Okay, now, if you look at it, remember there's always an opposite. So by literally flipping it around and turning it around, literally you can find something that you could just think, do you know what? I'm still standing. Do you know something? I'm still here. Do you know something? I'm still moving forward every day. Do you know something? I'm still showing up every single day in my own world, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it's not going great, because everything is temporary. Everything passes eventually. And what I want you to understand is the more we sit with something thinking it's not going right, then you might find that it's actually not, because you're giving energy to it. Whereas if we turn around and really, that's it, Fee, you are enough and you are winning, my lady. You really are. And if you turn it around and you start to think, do you know something? I can do this, then you will. And if you start talking to yourself in a manner of, do you know what, I'm stopping talking down to myself. I'm not going to believe those words because they're not making me feel good. And the second you start to not feel great, that's when you know that whatever it is that you're thinking, saying and feeling is not serving you, and it is possible to turn it around. Sorry, let me just think. Okay. Sometimes we think about stopping ourselves from speaking up, and sometimes we think about stopping and saying how we truly, truly feel because of fear of we may be run down, put down, talked down to. Your feelings are your feelings, okay? Your feelings matter incredibly because they belong to you. Now, what your feelings are may not be what somebody else thinks or says or feels. And as we start to work on our mindset, as we start to build ourselves from the core, from the inside, and literally start to build ourselves up, we start to think, do you know something? I don't agree with that. Or, you know something? I want to say something different. Or, do you know something? I want to speak up. And guess what? It is a little bit scary because it's new. It's like walking into primary school for the first day. Do you remember that? You may have been excited, but you may have been a little bit nervous as well. You may have felt a little bit apprehensive, but then every day you did it, gradually you got used to it. And that's where it happens with the mindset. Just occasionally, just learning to speak up just a little bit and saying how you feel. Doesn't mean to say the other person is wrong, but from your perspective, that's okay and you're allowed to speak up. And the more you do it, the more you're going to understand it. Where are we? Fee, thank you. Great advice. Always good to hear it again. Refresh it in my mind. Thank you, my lovely. Thank you so much. Where are we? Jules, thank you. I'm so much more in control of what I want and the kids have got the message. Brilliant. Jules, can you tell me what was the turning point for you? Because it might just help some other people listening. Because you've been through an amazing amount of things going on this year. So if you could just share with me, that would be amazing. And Fee, repetition. Repetition is the key. Just listen to what you are saying to yourselves, and you'll soon say it. Start to realise exactly what it is that maybe is holding you back. The more we are aware, and this is exactly what I'm here for, is to just be that little voice on your shoulder saying, well, what about if you said it this way? What about if you said it a different way? And turn it around and be kind to yourselves. Now, the biggest message I can give to you is literally give yourself time, okay? Give yourself time to allow yourself to move forward. That's okay, Fee, you're welcome. Thank you, lovely. That's okay. So give yourself time to move forward. Give yourself time to stop. Give yourself time to actually analyse what it is that's maybe causing you to feel a little bit stuck, a little bit uncertain, a little bit unsure. Now, when I first started my journey of self-development, I didn't get it, to be truthful. I didn't get it. I felt uncomfortable. I felt it was a waste of time. I felt it wasn't working. And then what I did start to realise is that if I did just a little bit of something different every single day, those small changes would lead to big changes. And that's part of the reason that I actually developed and set up the Breakfast Boost Club, so that people that could come and join on a daily basis in a closed group would actually be able to have somewhere private where they could tap into each single day. Every single day they could come in. Hi guys, as you're joining me, say hello, let me know where you're from, that would be great. So every single day they could tap in to what I call the good stuff, the mindset stuff, without fear, without worry, and without being judged, okay? Hi there, how are you? So literally, think about that. Give yourself some time. Just the fact that you're sitting here watching these, okay? 1 second. Can you say something about the resistance against making changes and doing the things that help but put you on the right path? It feels like a loop that I can't get out of. Right, yes, absolutely. Thank you for that, my lovely. Okay, right, JJ. There is something called non-resistance, okay? There is something called non-resistance. Now you've made, oh, let me just get you that back. Yeah, I know. I know, my lovely. Can you say something about resistance against making changes? Okay, right. So if something needs to change, something needs to change for it to change, okay? Now, quite often we resist change. We're scared about change. What we feel is if we start to change something, it might not go in our favour, it might not work, it might not actually benefit us in any way, shape or form, okay? Now, if we have the non-resistance, we get to that point where it's almost like, if you ever been in a situation you think, I just give up, I just can't be bothered with it and I'm going to come back to it another day, or I'm just going to give up, and then things actually start to change. Sometimes the more we try, the more we really try, sometimes we're just beating ourselves against our brick wall. We're knocking on a door that won't open. What I want you to understand, if something isn't working, sorry guys, the energy that you're giving it, if something isn't working, is because potentially it may not be meant for you. It may be that a door is closing or a door won't even open because it's actually something's guiding you further down the road for something else to actually happen. And when we start to have that trust, when we start to have that faith and that knowledge that, do you know what, that maybe isn't for me, and we just release it and we let go, then different things will start to happen, because the energy you're giving is not going into trying to get through a door that won't open. The energy you're giving is you're feeding it back to yourself, and you're valuing yourself, knowing that that isn't meant for you. Does that help, JJ? Just let me know. Fee, anyone thinking, God bless you, joining one of Lisa's classes, do it, it changes lives. Thank you, my lovely. And I will, I don't think Fee will mind me mentioning this. You know, Fee's been with me, how long is it? About 2 years? About 2 years. And Fee has been with me, she developed herself, she's been amazing, absolutely incredible woman. And she's just recently come back to gain some more insight. And it's interesting because, you know, as we move off and we go to different places, we come back and we change. So remember, everything is an ocean of motion. We are all moving forward at different rates. Nobody is better than anybody else, and your journey is your journey. And that's where I want you to really stop comparing yourself. Louise, oh, Lou, hello, my lovely. Great question, was thinking that myself. Oh, fantastic. Good, did that help? Answer me that, did that help? Okay, so Lou, message me, let's have a chat. Where are we? Thanks, Fee, and Susan saying a second that. Thank you, my lovely, thank you. Okay, 2 years, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Okay, so let's go back here. Where are we? All right, Jules, until I realised I am important, and if others don't see that is their issue and not mine, or from your teachings, bless you, you've become more open-minded. Brilliant. You are so important. You know, you really are. When we start appreciating ourselves, magical things start to happen. Some of the ladies that have been working with me, and some of the men as well, you know, it's like people, when they start realising their self-worth, their confidence starts to lift and they start to do things they never thought they would do. And it could be from doing, oh, I don't know, let me think, just from driving to starting a new job, to travelling, to opening a business, all sorts of different things, because everybody is at different levels of their own confidence of what they want to do. Jules, I've lost so many important people in my life, I felt I needed to honour them somewhat in a weird kind of way. That's lovely. Do you know something? What you've been through has just been, I can't even begin to imagine. But from it, you have actually gained that strength, and it's almost like you're showing them that it all wasn't in vain, which is so admirable, so admirable. And what you're doing just now, it's amazing. Jules is just starting up her own travel business, so if you're interested, put your link in, Jules, put your link in, so if anybody wants some help with that. JJ, thank you, lovely. I've been travelling and continue to do so. It's the only thing I feel I have the capacity to manage. However, I know that there are things I wish to achieve creatively and career-wise, and you shall. You shall. Look at how brave and amazing is that you've actually been jumping on planes and going places. I want to trust that travelling is enough for me right now. Absolutely, but then I get frustrated with my circumstances and having to work for other people. Long hours, will have to catch up. I would love to. I'd love to catch up. Okay, right. Listen, trust that travelling is for you at the moment, because the experience that you're gaining from that, the wisdom, the knowledge, the just the atmospheres, just the whole different outlook from travelling, maybe that's feeding something in your soul right now that actually you will be able to use at another time. Okay, so fantastic. Keep doing what actually works for you right now. Things will change when they need to change. Things will just walk into your life when you least expect them. That is the non-resistance, JJ, okay? Just trust that you're on the right path, okay? Thanks, Jules. And Lou, yes, it helped. We'll do my... Thank you. That'll be brilliant. It'll be good to have a chat. Okay, right. So, just from this last week, talking about... Thanks, JJ. Talking from this last week... There we go. Just add that. I really want you to understand that stopping is okay. Stopping is not a failure. Stopping is a success, okay? Stopping when you're tired is a success, and stopping when you're going too quickly is a success. Whatever is working for you in your own world that actually raises your energy and helps you feel good, that's the important thing. Is it good to go through phases where you do and don't feel self-confidence? I'm going to say yes, okay? The reason is this. How would you know what self-confidence was if you felt self-confident the whole time? How would you know what a dip would feel like if you were up all the time? Does that make sense? So for every down, there's an up, okay? Now, you can't have the mountains without having the valleys. That's one of the Bob Proctor phrases that I said from my training. So how would you know what the mountains look like if you didn't have the valleys? So if you have those dips, what it means is that sometimes you've got to dig a little bit deeper. Sometimes we just need to stretch ourselves. Sometimes that little bit of low self-confidence may be that you're trying something new that you've never ever done before. And by doing that, you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're starting to stretch yourself. Now, if we stretch ourselves, remember, things are going to go a little bit thin while we build up our confidence. And again, that's okay, my lovely. So for me, like I've mentioned this week, I did a fantastic opportunity at a workshop, and it stretched me out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to lie, I really am not going to lie. It stretched me out of my comfort zone. Was I nervous? Yes. Did I crack on? Yes. Did I learn? Yes. Okay, so when we feel that little bit of uncertainty, embrace it. Look at it as, actually, what can I learn from this? This is going to be great. Hi, who's just joining me? Thank you. So we're going to be rounding up in a couple of minutes, but remember, what can you learn from anything that you're going through? What can you learn? How do you make yourself, thank you, Daniel, how do you make yourself feel more confident about the future? So lost in what I want to do and the stress of college, and if it's what I want to do anymore. Okay, now, what is it that really floats your boat? What is it that you really, really love doing? Now, are you on the college route and it's almost over? Remember, what I would advise you to do is really analyse where you're at in this moment. Okay, so thinking about it, what are your dreams? What I would ask you to do is write everything down that you really, really want in your life, okay? Write things down. What is it that you'd like to do? What do you enjoy? What is it that you love? So, oh, Maxine, hello, I'll come back to you, my lovely. Okay, so what is it that you love? Now, think about this. Sometimes we have to feel lost to be found again. Sometimes we have to be unsure of what we want. Sometimes it all feels like it's falling apart, because sometimes when it falls apart, that's when we're putting ourselves back together again. So what I'd invite you to do is just think, okay, let me see, what is it that I love? What do I actually like about college? Why did I go to college in the first place? And try and tally up and see if they match. I don't know you well enough to actually advise you on that, but all I would say is really tap in to what it is that you really love, and try and remember how it was when you first started at college, and see if the two can tally, and let me know, okay? Maxine, hi lovely. Hello, long time no see, you're looking good. Oh, thank you, bless you. How strange, you've been running around like a blue-ass fly all week and I decided to stop at last. Now come on Facebook and hey presto, there you are. Great to see you, thank you. Yeah, Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock, this is where I am, okay. Oh, bless you, thanks JJ, thank you, my lovely. So it's good to see you. That's great. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so where are we? We've got a couple of minutes left and then I'm going to sign off for the night. And remember, if you want to know any more about what I do, please message me. I put this invite out and I really do mean it. I like to be as accessible as possible. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, here we go. Right, Facebook and Instagram. If you are looking for some travel advice about booking a holiday, if you go to jules.turner.notjusttravel, I can highly recommend this lady. Okay, she's a client of mine and she is stepping out as she is branching and building up her confidence in herself. So I can 100% recommend her. Okay, so to finish off, what I'd like you to do this week moving forward is stop and assess where you're at. Stop if you're pulling yourself down, and if you're tired, I invite you to stop. Allow yourself just to put the brakes on whatever it is that is not benefiting you, okay? And if you are in a position where you're not sure, then just be in that moment. Don't be trying to beat down the doors that aren't going to open. Just know, remember this is so important. Wherever you are right now is exactly where you are meant to be. Just take that faith, that knowing that all is well, okay? That all is actually well wherever you are now. You're gaining experience, you're gaining wisdom, you're gaining knowledge about yourself. The more we fight with ourselves, the more we're going to get friction back. So calm the energy and just keep saying to yourself, everything is fine, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Even if you're not feeling great, you are learning something along the way, I promise you. Okay, right, so this will be uploaded onto my newsletter. If you'd like to know more about me, please go to www.lisahawkyard.com. If you're on Instagram, if you go to my profile, there's a link in my profile. If you click on that, you'll see everything that I offer in there as well. And if you are enjoying what you're seeing, and if you would like to know more about the Breakfast Boost Club, I have 5 spaces left for January that when you join, you get a free one-to-one session with me, boosting your confidence. So message me if you're interested. And also tomorrow night in Chafford 100 area in Essex, I'm holding happiness classes and at 6:45 at Drake Hall Community Centre in Chafford, and at 8:30 p.m. online through Zoom. So if you're interested in online, if you're somewhere else in the country or even the world, let me know and you are more than welcome. Okay, so if something, thank you JJ, bless you. If there's something you'd like to know, please message me, and if you feel that this can benefit somebody that you know and maybe they're not ready to take that step forward, share this link, tag them in it, and let them have a little look of how just a little tweak of that mindset can make such a difference. Okay, you're very, very welcome. Okay, right, Safa, hello my lovely. Okay, right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next Sunday, but I will also be online. And remember, change is good. Change can make you feel a little bit unnerved sometimes, but change is good, okay? And it's absolutely fine. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. So thank you for everyone who's joining me, and I will see you next week. Keep watching my social media, because like I say, there's a few interesting things coming up that you might be interested in. Take care. I'm Lisa Hawkyard, the mother of all coaches, and I'm here to empower your mindset to empower you. Have an amazing evening and have an even better week. I'll see you later. Bye.